Hello everyone, good day. Welcome to my channel, Back and Magang. Stay humble and keep the excitement to learn like a newbie intern. Perhaps I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Jody. I'm from Indonesia, and I'm an ex technical leader at Kompas Gramedia. Kompas Gramedia is biggest digital media in Indonesia, my country. And now I'm just helping my friends to build his startup as a principal engineer. And about my channel names, Bake and Magang. Magang is a word of in Indonesia for internship. So why I take this name? Because I think when we think like an internship, it means we are empty our glass, so we're ready to accept and we're ready to absorb all of the knowledge that we can have. That's why I take this name, back end magang. And then this is my first content that using English because I would like to try to um, share my experiences overseas, and then I want to improve my English as well. Yeah, because you know my English is not good. I'm not good in English, but I try. Okay. In this video, we will talk about unit testing because unit testing is one of the problem for us backend engineer that make us dizzy, in some way confusing. And in this video, we will learn to create unit testing without any confusing at all. Okay, before going to the example project, I will provide some explanation regarding unit testing. Okay, let's check this one. Okay, unit testing is a method of software testing where individual components or units or a system are tested in isolation to ensure that each unit function according to its specification. This is the point. And the goal of unit testing is to verify that every small part of the software operates correctly and meets the expectation. So the benefit of unit testing, there are some benefit. The first one is ensure software quality. It means unit testing have identify and fix error or bugs early, and thereby improving the overall quality of the developed software. The second one is enhanced maintainability. It's mean with unit testing, any change or feature addition, feature addition can be quickly tested to ensure they do not break existing functionality. And the third one is simplifies debugging. It means if there's an error in a unit, unit testing help pinpoint the location of the error quickly and facilitating the debugging process. And the fourth one is speeds up the development. It's mean by testing at the unit level, developer can identify issues early. It will reduce the number of accumulated bugs and speed up the overall development process. And the fifth one is a boost confidence. Unit testing, I think unit testing gives developer and the development team confidence that its component in the software works as intended. This can increase trust in the system as a whole. And the last but not least, unit testing can facilitates. I'm sorry, my English. I'm not good English, but I try. Support me. Wish me luck. Okay, the last but not least, it facilitates continuous integration. Unit testing is an integral part of continuous integration (CI), and by automating tests at the unit level, development teams can ensure that codes change from various developer integrate smoothly without breaking existing functionality. Okay, after that, we will talk about what should we do, the unit testing, of course. The first one is early bug detection. It means unit testing helps identify bugs early in the development cycle, of course, and making fix cheaper and quicker. And then the second one is easier maintenance. It unit testing simplifies code maintenance. I'm sorry, as any change can be automatically tested to ensure that there are no negative impacts on other part of the system. And the last but not least, better code understanding. I think this is the most important point because writing unit tests requires a deep understanding of how each unit of code works. This is the important point because this help developer gains better insight into the structure and function of the code they create. So it means the developer have a mindfulness when they create their code. So imagine trying to find a bug in your code without unit test. It's like trying to find a needle in haystack in the dark with your hand tied behind your back. Not fun, right? Unit testing is like turning on the light, giving you a map and a pair of tweezers, and suddenly finding the needle doesn't seem so daunting. So let's dive into unit testing, make our lives easier and our software better. Happy testing, of course. So I have a project, and I will share the GitHub link in the video description, so you can clone, and I hope it can help you all to learn. This is just a simple project that provide an API so that user can get a list of books. But I will open the project first. Okay, I hope you can see the code. Um, in this project, I have not used a database. I only use a third party. In this case, library.org to get the data, and I also use Redis case for the caching process so that it reduce response time, so I don't always retrieve data from library.org. But the focus in this video is the unit testing process only. Okay, let's go straight here. Wait a minute. So in this project, I've used let's get straight to the use case only. So as can you see in the use case, and the important point, I made several layer in this project like this. This is the use case, the infrastructure, and the interface. And every layer is communicate by in an interface like this. We use an interface is to make easier when we made mock up for the unit testing like this. Okay. Before that, in this case, in this use case, I use books integration. This is the process that I use for retrieve data for openlibrary.org, and I use Redis for caching. So in this use case, we require these two. And when we require these two, I made the method uh, in this layer to communicate to this use case using an interface like this. So this is the method that I use to fetch any data from openlibrary.org. So I have get books by subject, and this method I declare it in this interface Open Library Service. Now, when we use this get books by subject, we just call this method by this interface, so it's easier to make the mockups like this. Ah, when we use the interface, the mockups doesn't have to know all the things that running in the entire method. So this is how to make the mockups, and for the mockup I use a testify mock. So we can copy this code in my repo. I will share the link in the video description, like I said before. So this is the mockup method for the get books by subject. And in the use case for book use case, we also use Redis case. So I make the Redis case in this layer. Obviously, I make an interface as well to communicate this layer to with other layer. There are two methods in this layer, set data and get data, and I declare it in the interface, set data and get data. And like I said before, with the interface we can make easier. We can make I mean it will make easier when we make the mockup like this. This is the mockup for Redis layer, set data, get data. Now, after that, we will back to the books use case. Okay, in this use case, I have method that names get books by subject. In this method, the first one we will check the data. Is there any data in Redis? If Redis is empty, we will get the data from the third party, from the openlibrary.org with this method get by subjects as well. I name it same. And then after we get data from the openlibrary.org, we set data to the Redis. So if any same key to retrieve the list of book, the method will end in this line because the data is saved in Redis case. So this is the process. Get data from Redis. If the Redis case empty, this method will get data from the third party upon library.org. After that, this method will set the data to the Redis case. So is this a simple method? Now we'll go straight to the unit testing. Okay, this unit testing I'm use Testify Suite, Suite, I think. I'm sorry, Testify Suite and Testify Mock. This is the element that I import is element needed of course, like a DTO and integration. We mock the integration. I'm sorry, I forgot to explain the DTO. DTO is data transfer object here that receive the data from the end user, from this layer, the handler. But I think we don't have to learn about this layer first in this video. Okay, this monk. Okay, so in this layer we just have all we just have this validate method to validate the DTO. DTO, it means to request DTO request, so we validate the request is valid or not in this method. But we will talk about this use case only, book use case. Okay, this is the preparation. Nah, after I made the preparation struct, I make a set up method for this testing layer. So in this setup test method, I call the mockups for the all the component we need, like mock response, book mock of books, DTO, and mock of Redis, and mock of integration layer. And in this line, I make DTO data for dummy process. So the first thing that we test in this case is test get by subject from Redis is success. It means this line. If it success, so I make a method that test get by subject from Redis success, like this. In Redis layer, as you can see, we need a context background, like this. The context and the subject for the key. So we input the request for the key for the Redis search. After that, we just test by call the actual method get by subject, and we just test if the error is equal to nil, because as you see in this code, if there are no error, so the variable data Redis will have a data for Redis by this key. But if Redis case is empty, they will go to this line. So this is the testing. If I run this test, okay, it's okay. It means the test is complete. And after that, we make a scenario that get data from the Redis is error, or it means the Redis case is empty. And then after that, we get the data from the third party. After that, we set data to the Redis. So we back to the actual method is in this line. If data Redis empty, blah blah blah, and then it retrieve data from the original method, original third party. After that, we set the data to the Redis. So we will make the test like this. Okay, get the data, get book by subject, and we set the data to Redis. And also we just compare the result, especially the error result is equal to nil. I will run the test. Okay, it's okay. Now after that, we'll back to the actual method. There are some error process in here. Okay, in this line we catch the error, and in this line as well, so we make a scenario if the test get by subject set data Redis fail. So the scenario is about we call the mock Redis and we return an error. This is in this line I use mock anything, so it will make easier to make an error to this line, especially to this method. So after get the data, we return an error. After that, it will go to the actual third party for retrieve the data. After that, we set data to the Redis, and we can check an error is equal to mock anything again. So this is the line. After that, the last scenario is test get by subject set data Redis fail. So is the scenario for set the data Redis in fail condition. So we will make in this way, get data, return error. After that, we get the data from the actual third party, but after that we set the data, but it will return error. So we make this scenario that set data from Redis return an error. And after that, of course, we just compare the error is equal to error mock anything like this. And in this last line, this is the method to run the testing process. Okay, in this method test get by subject set data Redis file, we test the scenario of this. Redis data, set data, and then an error occur. So we can see that my unit testing is coverage this use case 100%. Like this, I will show you. Nah, the coverage is 100% of statements. You can see in this. It's a green line for all the line that I wrote in this method. Get by subject, Redis get data. I've made a scenario for the success condition, file condition for this get data, and of course I made a condition for data Redis is empty. There are no gates for that key. And then I made the scenario for success in process of get book by subject. I mean this is get book by subject from the actual third party. After that, I make a scenario as well to this process. An error occur in this process. After that, the scenario is to set the data to the Redis and the error occur, of course. I mean, obviously. So, uh, with this method, we can make unit testing easier. You just make a scenario for the line by line like this. So I think this is not confusing at all when we uh, make unit testing. For the project, I have said it before. I will share the link of my GitHub for this project in the video's description. I think that's all for me. I'm sorry, really not good in English, but I will try to improve my English as well. So uh, I hope you all will support me. You can subscribe, like, and share to support me. So I will have a spirit to share of my knowledge and experience in backend engineering. Okay, I think that's all for me. Once again, thank you very much. Cheers from your backend maga.